Give it up for Dr. Sonny Duong.
Thank you. I gotta say, this is nerve-wracking, and I feel like Forrest Gump. I gotta pay. Woo. All right. We all have stories to tell. Let's just agree this is a safe zone. Because no judgment, all right? Because what you're gonna hear about my life story may shock you, okay? I'm not always an upstanding dentist, all right? So today I would like to share with you the story of how OPI nail polish changed my life. Well, not so much as the OPI nail polish, but the ladies whose nail I was polishing. Now, some of you ladies know what OPI is, but what you may not know is OPI was a dental supply company in Los Angeles. Now, the local nail technicians were going there, and they were buying their acrylics. And the owner was like, what are these non-dental professionals coming in to buy our ortho acrylic for? So they asked, what are you doing with our acrylic? I said, you guys make the best acrylic, and we make nails with them. And they thought, wow, this is amazing. What do you do after you do nails? Polish. So that's the story of how OPI nail polish became one of the greatest beauty supply company in the world. So just to continue, I was born in Vietnam at the end of the war, and it's about 20 years ago. My father had fought in the South Vietnamese Army alongside the U.S. Marine, and he suffered a really bad injury on his leg, so he sent home early. And when he got home, as soon as he felt better, he started building a bunker in our backyard, right? And I was 3 years old when Saigon fell. I remember when my dad took myself, my mom, my brother, my sister, and we would hunker down in the bunker in the dark. I remember hearing the explosions, boom, boom, as the North Vietnamese Army and the Viet Congs were shelling Saigon. My parents were sent to re-education camp after the war ended. Now, I don't think they learned anything because after living a couple years in communist Vietnam, they're like, let's get the heck out of here, you know? So my father and some other family members decided to build a couple wooden boats. So they built the boats and they're like, we're gonna sail to Hong Kong. And why do you say Hong Kong? Why Hong Kong, right? So at the time, there were shorter routes to Malaysia, Thailand, and the Philippines. But the Thai pirates were terrorizing Vietnamese boat people that were trying to escape Vietnam. So even though it was a longer trip, they decided to go to Hong Kong instead. And we escaped in the middle of the night. I was 6 years old. And total darkness. Imagine yourself walking barefoot, following some strangers with your family, walking in the sand to the beach. And you get on this dinghy, and they're like, get on. You're like, okay, you get on. And then somebody rolls that dinghy out to the boat in deeper water. Get on, so you get on. And this went on for the night. And at some point, I was tired and fell asleep. I woke up daybreak. I don't know where my family are. I was seasick, hungry, thirsty, and thrown up. And all around me, there were other people doing the same thing. It smelled like a really nice, trashy bar, I tell you that. So it wasn't a day later until my dad found me and took me up to the roof of the bridge. And there we sailed with my brother, my sister, and my dad. And we survived a monsoon during that time. And I can remember the bow of the boat just coming, boom, crashing down on the bottom of the wave. That was really scary. And we, at some point, ran out of fresh water, ran low on food. So somewhere along the line, someone had to drop anchor in the boat and swim in the coast and meet some Chinese farmer along the coast and barter for water and food. And we had to ration everything until we got to Hong Kong. And at some point, one of the boat's propeller actually got caught in a fisherman's net. So in the middle of the night, one of my cousins dove in, and all he had was a spotlight on the back of this boat. And he somehow cut the fishing net out and freed the propeller so we can continue on. We spent about 8 days sailing towards Hong Kong, and the British Coast Guard spotted us and came out to sea and escorted us in. In Hong Kong, we spent about 2 years in refugee camps, in different camps. But I remember one camp where we were given a room a little bit bigger than this platform, and there were 3 other families, and they told us to go to each corner, and they gave us reed mats that we laid out, and that marked our territory. That was the boundaries of where our belongings, where we sleep, where we eat, everything. All right? And at some point, our family suffered a tragedy in Hong Kong. My younger brother was hit by a drunk driver. And I remember the day my dad came home back to the refugee camp. He was a broken man. You can tell in his face. Because we were refugees, we weren't afforded any rights. My parents had to cremate their son and leave his remains in the Buddhist temple in Hong Kong. In 1980, we immigrated to the United States, and we lived in Philadelphia because our sponsor was there. We lived in government housing, we got government assistance, and we were poor. But we loved it. We're in America. A couple years later, my parents learned that we have other family members in Orange County, California. And they're like, Orange County, California is more suited for Vietnamese, right? So like Philly was really cold for all of us. So in 1982, we packed up everything and we moved to SoCal. There, I grew up influenced by the Southern California sun and the fast culture. My parents only have a second grade Vietnamese education, so they didn't know any English at all, and they relied on my sister and I to help fill out all their paperwork, all their documents, and I think remember some job application too. So, and we relied on public health for our healthcare needs, food stamp, and we were poor. When I was in school, I remember being bullied a lot for being different and poor. And at some point, my dad and I were going dumpster diving in the back of supermarkets for edible food. And my biggest fear was like someone from school is going to recognize me. It's like, please, nobody, please. So my parents ultimately did what they did to survive. They worked many jobs, and when they weren't working at their jobs, they were sewing at home. We were sewing garments and baby car seat covers. And my sister and I would help them when we were not in school. And we helped them all summer. So needless to say, we didn't have a traditional American childhood. And in high school, I began to rebel. I found other teens that were lost like me. I started running with the wrong crowds, pushing the boundaries. Became part of a clique, labeled as a gang member. Started experimenting with drugs. I stole and robbed for money. I robbed someone just to have money to take my date to prom. And ultimately, I was arrested for that crime, found guilty, and sent to jail. Sent to juvenile hall, actually. I disappointed my parents. They had to live with a criminal son now. They had to drive 3 to 4 hours to this detention center just to visit their son. I could tell my dad was very disappointed. He had the same look in his face when he visited me, that broken man's face, as if I died like my brother. And he said to me, I didn't escape Vietnam just so you can live like this. Even after all that, I remained lost after I was released. Now, my father suffered from severe asthma, and he ultimately died of an asthma attack. His death was the hardest thing I had to deal with in my life. I went through depression. I ran away from my responsibilities. I got into hardcore drugs. I really hit rock bottom. And I saw my life go down two paths: death or prison. I decided I didn't want any of that. The IT guy's pranking with me. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Masood, wherever you are. So I decided I didn't want any of that. Now, if you ever reach a point in your life where you feel like you just can't change, well, I'm living proof that you have the power within you to change. Around this time, my good friend Jimmy gave me a call, and Jimmy and I grew up as teenagers, and he had moved to Richmond, Virginia to work with his mom in a nail salon. And business is booming. He knows of all my troubles, and they needed help, so he reached out to me. So within 1 week of that phone call, I sold my car, which my parents gave me. I bought a one-way ticket to Virginia, kept $20 for myself, and gave my mom the rest of the money because I didn't trust myself with it. I packed all my personal belongings in a small backpack, and I took off to Virginia. Now, when I landed in Virginia, I had less than $20 in my pocket because I bought a beer at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport bar waiting for my connecting flight. In Virginia, I rebuilt my life. Got sober. I learned how to do nails from Jimmy and his mom, Tanya. It's like the universe is so weird. I work with Tanya, my superhero at work. And I did nails for 10 years. Sorry, let me go back. So, I can neither deny or confirm that when you ladies come to a nail salon that we talk about you in Vietnamese. I think I gotta go back a little bit.
Tammy. You have boyfriend? No, I don't have a boyfriend. Honey, why you don't have? You look so pretty, like model, cheerleader, something pretty. You like long or short nail? Short nails, please, thanks. Oh, honey, that's why you don't have a boyfriend. I do for you, long better. All right, fine, I'll have long nails, thanks. It's okay, honey, only $4 more, that's okay. Do you like crystal gel? What? Do you like crystal gel? I'm sorry, what? Honey, do you like crystal gel for your nail? It's the best thing you can have for your nail. Make look nice, it sparkle like diamond in the sky. Do you like crystal gel?
I hope I don't get in trouble with HR. Well, I'm Asian, and actually, this is my life, and I know Tammy, I work with her. All right, so during that time, I met a wonderful person, a loyal client, Hazel Luton. Now, she spent time to get to know me. She asked me questions. She got to know me really well. She saw something in me that even I didn't see in myself. She always asked me, Sonny, don't you want to do something great? Because you don't have the accent to do nails forever. And I thought, yeah, doing nails is nice, but I just can't see myself supporting a family. But I was lost. I didn't know what to do. Hazel suggested dental lab technical work because I was really good with my hands. Now, Hazel worked at VCU School of Dentistry, and she taught infection control and a few other courses. And she's known in the dental school as the dental mom because she loved everyone and she cared for all. And anyone who was at VCU knows she's a great human being. So because of Hazel's persistent push, I finally looked into J. Sargent Reynolds Community College. And I met Ernie Wolf. He was the director of the Dental Lab Tech program at the community college. I met with him. I signed up for the course. It's a 5-semester course. And I discovered I was good with my hands. I was really good at making crowns, bridge, setting teeth and dentures. But then I didn't see myself behind a lab bench the rest of my life. I'm a people person. So as luck would have it, there was a dental school a few blocks away. So I walked over to VCU. And that's where I meet Dr. Brownstein. Whoop. Right. Now, I went to his office. I walked in, and I said, I would like to meet with Dr. Brownstein. And his secretary was great at fending me off. She's like, what year are you, D1, 2, or 3? And at the time, I didn't know what that meant. I was like, dummy 1, dummy 2, dummy 3. So I was like, I don't know what you mean. And she realized I wasn't a student there. It's like, honey, he's too busy. He can't meet with you. I was like, well, can you ask him if he can meet with me sometime? He's like, no, he's too busy. Come back later. So I came back another time. I was like, I would like to meet with Dr. Brownstein. I was like, are you a student here? I was like, no, I'm not a student here. I was like, well, what college do you go to? I was like, I'm at J. Sargent Reynolds Community College just down the street. I was like, oh, honey, you got to be a 4-year university before you can talk to him. So again, I leave and I come back. It wasn't until the 4th time I said, please, just walk in there and ask him to give me 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And let me tell you, that 5 minutes became a 2.5-hour meeting. He sat me down, he talked to me, he got to know me. And then he takes 2 loose leaf paper and he writes down everything I had to do. He even opened up the VCU College catalog, back when it was paper, you know, not the stuff you look online. And he identified key classes that I needed to take to make me a more competitive candidate. And I went home with those 2 loose leaf paper, and I taped that up on my refrigerator door. And I just chipped away at it. Now, I completed my dental lab tech program, and then I transferred to VCU to continue my pre-med classes. There were so many courses on that list that I was just a few credits away from getting a bachelor's degree. So I earned my Bachelor of Science in Biology and minored in chemistry. When I finally checked off the last thing, I applied to dental school, and I got accepted at VCU. Now, there were naysayers who said I couldn't do it. And one in particular I remember is my great uncle. He happens to be the patriarch of my mom's side of the family. When I announced to my family that I want to try to go to dental school and be a dentist, he says, oh, Sonny, both your parents are uneducated. You have no chance to be a dentist. Stick to dental lab tech. So let me tell you, I hand wrote an invitation and mailed it to him in California to my undergrad graduation and my dental school graduation, of which he didn't come to any. Wouldn't it be great if I invited him? He's right there. How do you like me now, Uncle? Yeah. So when I finished dental school, I wanted to give back. I wanted to work in community health because I'm a product of public health. My plan was to work 2 years, but that turned into 12 because I really fell in love with all the aspects of public health. There I also met my beautiful wife, Beth. Now, look at that picture of me. I hit the jackpot, right? Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. So we got married, and we started a family. And That's Luke, my middle schooler, and that is Sam, my fourth grader. We love the outdoors, and we're a camping family, and we love to travel. About 8 years ago, I met Dr. Jeffrey Day at a casino night fundraiser, and he didn't know how to play craps, so I taught him how to play craps. We shared a few bourbons together, we got to know each other, and then he invited me to come to his office, and he asked me to join Hilltop Dental Studios. Now, at the time, I really enjoyed public health, and I said, thanks, but no thanks. This is a great office. I love it. Until 2 years ago, I reached out to Dr. Day. I was like, hey, I think I'm ready to go to private practice. And he was like, this is perfect timing, because I'm thinking about stepping away. So I joined Hilltop Dental Studios November of 2022, and a few months later, he moved to North Carolina. Immediately at Hilltop, I felt at home. He had built a great practice and a great culture where everyone's family. I did get to work with Dr. Day for a few months. I wish it was longer, though. But he left me in good hands with wonderful people. I can proudly say, my work family, where's Hilltop? My work family are hardworking, wonderful people that I truly love. We not only care for our patients, we care for each other. And I'm thankful for all the people in my past that saw something in me, that pushed me to where I am today. I have a good job, a good career, that I can support my family and help people. So I stand here with you today as a Lightwave dentist. Even better, as a Lightwave friend, not a delinquent juvenile or a drug user. So what I want you to take away from this, other than my story, I would like you to think about the next time you get your nails did, the next time you get a haircut, or the next time you sit down to have lunch across from your coworker. Take some time to get to know them. Encourage them. Be persistent, as Hazel was with me. It wasn't just one conversation, it was years. And I challenge you all to be a Hazel. Not only that, but be a Sonny. See the potential in people and allow people to help you see the potential in you. Thank you for your time.